Mercedes have struggled since the second pre-season testing of 2022, but in the 6 weeks since then, they haven't upgraded their car at all. A team which has been as successful as the Silver Arrows is expected to be able to identify and deal with their issues quickly, but that hasn't happened this season. So what's gone wrong for them so far? Well, let's look at the start of the season first to see what went wrong originally. Mercedes realised the problems with its 2022 Formula 1 car much too late, because it was relying too much on its Bahrain test upgrade according to Toto Wolff. It ran in a different configuration at the opening Barcelona test before bringing a significant upgrade package to the second pre-season test in Bahrain, which included the strikingly minimised side pod concept. But Wolff said that caused the reigning Constructors' Champion team to stumble upon circumstances which made us realise that we had an issue much too late. Mercedes was left with a porpoising problem that made the W13 a difficult car to tame, and a package that looked far slower than Red Bull and Ferrari. Knowing the Barcelona test package was coming left Mercedes looking at the results and the data from the first test in maybe not the same way you should be, according to Wolff. In an apparent hint, it wasn't looking close enough at the car to discover its underlying problem at Barcelona, because it had so much faith in the upgrades that were coming. It was a bad start to the season for Mercedes. Their choice to not show the real W13 until the second test meant no one could copy their design, but it really came back to bite them. Their simulations didn't account for porpoising, and they weren't alone in that, but by not testing their actual car in Barcelona gave them 3 less days of data to work with when trying to find a solution, and 2 less weeks to work on that data as well. Despite this, the whole team is confident that once the upgrades everyone is talking about appear, they'll get back to the front of the grid. But why is it taking so long to get there? The Italian Grand Prix will mark 6 weeks since the Bahrain testing, but Mercedes seem to be no closer to taking their car to the next level than they were during race week 1. 2022 has seen a reduction in the amount of money each team can spend, making it much harder to come up with the updates since 2021. Whereas the top teams could throw money around in the past to make the car better, they now have to abide by a budget cap. Teams used to bring multiple wings, floors, boards, and anything else they could fit on the plane to each race. This gave them the ability to test multiple upgrades each weekend. But now that the new cost cap is in place, each step in the process must be carefully considered before rushing to put updates on the car. Toto claims it doesn't make sense to bring any upgrades for the car for the next weekend's Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, as they're yet to solve outstanding issues. Many fans and journalists have suggested that this is a good time to upgrade the cars before practice begins next weekend. Wolff insisted that they need to unlock the aerodynamic potential of the car as a priority, which can be done by going to the root cause of the problem. The team needs more time in assessing the problem so that the corrections can be made. Upgrading the car without diagnosing the problem would cause more confusion and trouble than solving the problem. He said, "We're just learning the car. We're learning the tyres. Nothing we did this weekend has unlocked the aerodynamic potential or has reduced the bouncing. We're still in the same place." That's why it doesn't make any sense to bring updates, because you're confusing yourself even more. Maybe it's even the fact that the more downforce you bring, the worse the bouncing gets, so we're still learning. Mercedes are smart to take some time learning this season before making decisions. The rule changes mean that car design is vastly different to previous seasons. Whereas before, they may have been able to predict what was going to happen when certain changes were made, the new ground effect flaws mean that they're in the dark about how changing one part of the car will affect another. Hopefully Mercedes will have learned enough to make changes soon, because if they don't, the 8-year Constructors' title winning streak could be over. Let us know what you think of the Mercedes car in the comments below. And while you're down there, please subscribe to F101 and I'll see you in the next video.